So the clock starts now. I woke up this morning and the very first thought I had was, okay, kindness begins right here at home. My mom was already in the kitchen, half asleep, making coffee, and I just thought, why not start small? I quietly made her breakfast, set it up at the table, and when she came back, she was so surprised. She asked what the occasion was, and I told her, just because. The way her face lit up set the tone for my whole day. Kindness didn't feel like a task, it felt like a gift I was lucky enough to give. That moment filled me with more energy than the coffee I drank after. As I left home, I thought about what it really means to be kind for 24 hours. It's not about big heroic acts all the time. It's about noticing the little chances we usually overlook. Walking down the street, I saw a man struggling with grocery bags, so I offered to carry them for him. He was hesitant at first, but then he laughed and said, "Thank you, I guess people don't usually stop for something like this anymore." That sentence hit me hard. It's so easy to walk past, thinking someone else will help, but maybe we're all waiting for each other. Maybe kindness just takes one person deciding to go first. Later in the morning, I bought myself a coffee at a cafe, but instead of leaving right away, I paid for the next person's order too. The barista smiled and said, "You're the first person today to do that." A young woman came up after me, and when she realized her drink was already paid for, she looked around confused, then smiled when the barista pointed to me. She mouthed thank you with this huge grin, and I swear I felt a lump in my throat. Such a small gesture, but I could see it actually mattered. By midday, I was starting to realize something: being kind all the time isn't as easy as it sounds. My natural instinct when I'm in a rush is to put my head down and focus on myself. But I had to remind myself that the challenge was about breaking that instinct. At one point, I almost ignored a man sitting on the sidewalk with a sign asking for food. Normally, maybe I'd drop some change, maybe I'd just walk past. But this time, I stopped, sat down next to him, and asked if he was hungry. He said yes, and I went into a restaurant nearby and ordered him a proper meal. When I handed it to him, he said, "You have no idea how much this means, I haven't eaten all day." I didn't know what to say back. I just smiled, but inside, I felt this heavy weight and warmth at the same time. How many times have I walked past someone like him and never even stopped? It was only halfway through my challenge and already I was seeing the world differently. I wasn't just noticing people's struggles, I was feeling connected to them in a way I usually don't. I started wondering how often we all miss these opportunities because we're too busy, too distracted, or too focused on ourselves. In the afternoon, I decided to try something bigger. I went to a flower shop and bought a bunch of small bouquets. Instead of keeping them, I walked around the park and started handing them to strangers. At first people thought it was weird, like, who just gives flowers out of nowhere? But once they realized there was no catch, their faces softened. I gave one to an elderly woman sitting on a bench reading a book, and she actually teared up. She told me her husband used to bring her flowers every week before he passed away, and no one had given her any since. I can't even explain what that did to me. I wasn't just handing out flowers, I was giving someone back a memory of love. As the day went on, kindness started to feel natural. I started picking up trash in the park without even thinking about it. I gave directions to tourists who looked lost. I complimented people sincerely whenever I could. And I realized, every time I did something kind, it wasn't just helping someone else, it was healing something in me too. I felt lighter, happier, like I was part of something bigger than myself. But the truth is, not every attempt went smoothly. There was a moment at the grocery store when I offered to let someone go ahead of me in line, and the guy just glared at me like I was annoying him. That stung. I felt embarrassed, like maybe I was overstepping. For a second, I thought, maybe I should stop. But then I reminded myself, kindness isn't about how people respond. It's about the intention. Sometimes people are having bad days, sometimes they don't trust strangers. That's okay. You keep going anyway. By evening, I was honestly tired. Being constantly mindful, looking for ways to give, it takes energy. But I wasn't ready to stop. I ordered a bunch of pizzas and dropped them off at a local shelter. The volunteers there were so grateful, and the people eating them. I can't even describe it. Kids laughing, parents finally having something warm to eat, the room buzzing with life. Watching that, I thought, why don't I do this more often? Why does it take a challenge to remind me how good it feels to give? When I got home later that night, I was drained, but in the best way. I sat down to write about everything I had done, and I realized something important. Kindness isn't just about helping others. It's about transforming yourself. It changes the way you look at people, the way you see the world. You start to notice not just the needs, but the beauty in small moments, the smile of a stranger, the gratitude in someone's eyes, the joy of a child eating pizza. But I still had a few hours left before the 24 hours were up. So I kept going. I called a friend I hadn't spoken to in months just to tell them I appreciated them. They were shocked but happy. I left sticky notes with positive messages on random cars in my neighborhood. I even stayed up late helping my sibling with homework, something I usually brush off when I'm tired. None of these were grand gestures, but together, they felt powerful. As midnight approached and my 24 hours of kindness came to an end, I lay in bed thinking about everything that had happened. I thought it would just be a fun challenge for a video, but it turned into something much deeper. I laughed, I cried, I felt embarrassed, I felt uplifted. Most of all, I realized that kindness doesn't need to be a challenge. It can be a lifestyle. We don't need cameras or a countdown timer to justify treating people with love and compassion. We just need to choose it. If you've watched this far, I want to challenge you too. Try being intentionally kind for just one day. Notice how people react, notice how you feel. I promise it will surprise you. Maybe it won't always be easy, maybe not everyone will appreciate it, but someone will. And that someone might need it more than you'll ever know. So that's it, 24 hours of kindness. I went into this thinking I was doing it for others, but honestly, I think I needed it just as much. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. Remember, kindness doesn't have an expiration date. Tomorrow, I'll still try to be kind. And the day after. Because if a single day can change so much, imagine what a lifetime could do. And if this video touched you in any way, share it. Because maybe kindness is contagious. Maybe together, we can make it spread.